Okay, so the last one from this list is here. If you remember, this is a lot more complicated than the other two, or other three rather. So if you remember, we needed to consider a bunch of conditions here and a bunch of conditions here. So let's see how that's going to work. So this is true if, now the thing about the arrow is that it's true in all cases except when this is false and this is true. Sorry, what did I just say? I wanted to say it over here, where this is false and this is true. So let's just do the truth table because I want to be clear. Okay, so when these are both true, it's true. This is the line where it's false. And whenever P is false, this whole thing turns out to be true. Okay, so it's going to be false only in this case, and it's going to be true otherwise. So one way of saying this is it's true if both of them are true, or if P is false. So since this is P right here, this is going to be true if and only if either, oops. So now I'm going to actually do this as two separate equations in here. So this can either be false. This is, I think, the reverse of the way that we did it in class, but it doesn't matter. Okay, or they're both true. Okay, put in our little superscripts. Okay, great. We don't need that. Okay, so now we need to copy this whole thing and simplify this whole thing. So what it means for this to be false, I'm going to move this or like way over here so we can keep track of it, is, as we now know, this is not in that. Or, just keep those ors lined up. This is true and this is true. So that would mean that this is in this. So I can just replace this whole thing if I can get only that. Okay, and I can get rid of that not. And, okay, and now this part here is the part where we were, breaking these up. Now what I've been doing is sort of doing it as much as I can here. So what does it mean for this to be true? For this to be true, this is true and or this is true. Okay, so I'm going to break this up now into those two steps. And either let's see what happens. I think I need to actually make a new equation in order for that to. Okay. So either this is true or this is true. Okay. And now to do this again, I'm now going to break up this part. And that's going to be true if he is in this, or he's in there. Okay. Oh my gosh. We're done. So now we need to check all of these things. So in order to do that, we first have to substitute. Okay, so S is happy. So I'm going to substitute for S everywhere. I don't know why I keep doing this, since these guys are going to change. Okay. And then I'm going to substitute for J. So that's right here. And then I just substitute for tall and happy. So let me just substitute for happy first. And now I'll substitute for tall. Okay, so this is appreciably more complicated than our previous one. So for this to be true, one of two things has to be the case. So let's just number them, 1 or 2. And then we'll number this A and this B, letter it. Okay, so either 1 has to be true or 2 has to be true. Okay, so is 1 true? No. So 1 is not true because he is actually in that set. What about 2? For 2 to be true, the first part is this has to hold. Okay, so that first part holds. And then for 2 to be true, A has to be true or B has to be true. Well, B isn't true, but A is true. So 2 is true because the first condition is true and 2A is true. Okay, so all of this is just me taking notes for what's going on in this case. The final way I would write this all out is not to say any of this, but rather to say this is true because that's not true. Can you write 2 now? Because this is in this and this is in that. There we go. Done.